Hi everyone, welcome to this video tutorial for this Pawty keyhole cat scarf. So thanks very much for watching, and please like, share and subscribe, and hope to see you soon. Thanks very much. Bye. Okay, so for this project you'll need firstly some tinsel yarn. I've got this one here. It's actually, the feathers on it are actually quite long. You'll most likely have one that's slightly different to mine. So depending on the type of tinsel yarn that you can find, that will help to make the decision of what type of yarn you're using for your the main colour. So because this tinsel yarn is quite long and quite large, I'm using this super bulky velvet yarn here. So try and match, if you can, as best you can, two yarns that go well together, the tinsel yarn border and the main colour. You'll need a crochet hook that corresponds to your main yarn. So I'm using, for this one, I'm going to use 6mm. You'll need a darning needle, large eye. You'll need some scissors. And you'll also need a tape measure to measure the circumference of your cat's neck and also the length of the chain that you'll be chaining for your project. Okay, for this project you'll need to know how to slip knot onto your hook, how to create a chain, how to single crochet, double crochet, and then how to weave in your ends. So very beginner friendly. If you need to brush up on any of those techniques before you get started on this tutorial, please do. And let's get started. Okay, so before we get started on the actual crocheting, I just want to talk to you a little bit about the sizing. So this is it's a keyhole design, so super simple to fit on your cat. So what you'll need to measure, using your tape measurer, you'll need to measure the circumference of your cat's neck. Okay, so just measure loosely. So for example, Melba, I measure loosely around her neck, she's around 25 centimeters. And then what you'll need to decide, and this is just a little, you can personalize this and make it a bit of a design feature. What you need to decide is how long you want these bits to hang down from the keyhole. Okay, so this one here, I've made them a little bit longer, and from the keyhole, they end up being about 9 centimeters that hang down. So that's quite a long version. Now, today I'm going to make approximately half that. So I'm going to make it a bit shorter just to show you what looks like slightly shorter. And I'm going to make my extra around 5 centimeters. So that will help you work out how long your chain should be. Okay, so taking your main yarn and slip knot onto your hook, and then taking your cat's measurement, so the circumference, which I'm working with Melba at 25 centimeters, and then I'm going to add 5 centimeters of overhang or overlap. Okay, and you need to add 5 centimeters twice, so one for each end. So to the 25 centimeters, I'm adding a total of 10 centimeters. So hopefully that's clear for you. Work out how much you want the overhang to be. If you want a longer overhang, go up to about 10 centimeters. More than that probably won't be super practical. If you want only a short amount of overhang, maybe go to about 3 centimeters. Any less than that, you're probably risking that the scarf will fall off quite easily. So anywhere between about 3 and 10 centimeters as the overhang. So just a reminder, the overhang that I'm talking about is this bit that hangs down from the keyhole, okay, on either side. This is the measurement of the neck circumference, okay? So I'm going to chain to 35 centimeters. Okay, because that's my 25 centimeters neck circumference plus 5 centimeters on either end as my overhang. So go ahead and you chain your length of chain, and I'll meet you back here when I'm at my 35 centimeters. Okay, I've got my 35 centimeter chain here, and you'll have probably a slightly different measurement depending on the size of your cat's neck and the overhang that you want. So just chain 1 as a turning chain, and we'll move on to row 1. Now row 1 is just a simple row of single crochets, so locate the second chain from your hook and place a single crochet. And then place single crochets in each chain all the way along until you finish all the way at the other end, and that will complete row 1. So I'll catch you at the other end of my chain. Okay, so I'm just placing my last single crochet at the end of row 1 in that last chain. So I've got my first row of single crochets. Now the second row we're going to change to double crochets. So chain 2 for this turning chain. Turn your work. And then we're going to double crochet. Now here's where you need to work out where you're going to place your keyhole. Okay, so you've decided at the beginning how much overhang you want to have. So I'm going to have around 5 centimeters this time. So I'm going to place my, I'm going to start my keyhole here. Now you could at this point use a chain marker. I'm just going to count 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. At the 6th chain here, I'm going to start my keyhole. So you work out where your keyhole needs to start, okay? So for me, it's going to be at that 6th chain because I'm leaving an overhang in this particular scarf of 5 centimeters. Okay, so double crochet up until that point that you've marked, and like I said, you could use a stitch marker if you want. I'm just going to count. So this is number 3, 4, number 5, and then number 6. Okay, so this is where I'm going to start my. So I've got, actually, that's going to take me to 6 centimeters. So I'm just going to undo that last one. So you know, what I encourage you to do is be, be creative and don't be scared to, just try around and work out where you want things to be. But if you've measured your 5 centimeters, this is better for me here. So I'm going to stop at this point, and now I'm going to start my keyhole. So keyhole chain 2. And then skip 2. Okay, so skip the next 2 stitches and then start your double crochets again in the 3rd stitch along. So you've created that keyhole. Okay, so there's my keyhole there. Okay, and then continue with your double crochets all the way along until you get to the end of row 2. Okay, so keep going and I'll meet you back at the end of row 2. Okay, I'm working my last 2 double crochets into these last 2 stitches here on row 2. Let's get it in that last one. Okay. Okay, so now we're going to move on to our 3rd and final row of this main colour. So chain 1, we're going to go back to 1 row of single crochets just to round this one out. So why we did the double crochet in the middle there is so we can create this slightly wider keyhole. Okay, so now back to a row of single crochet. So chain 1 and turn, and then just single crochet in each stitch all the way down the line. Okay, so I'll meet you back at the end of your row 3, single crochet in each stitch all the way down to the end. Okay, so I just want to just work over this keyhole bit with you. Now it doesn't really matter how you do this keyhole bit. You could put the stitches into the chains. What I tend to do is just work them into the chain space. So just 2 single crochets into those 2 chain spaces. It doesn't matter, like I said, if you want to put them into the chains, you certainly could do that, and then just continue along, single crochet all the way until the end. So let's finish that off together, and then we're done the main part of our scarf. So just yarn over, pull through, and take your scissors, snip off your end. Okay, so that's the main part of your scarf done. Now just double check at this point that you can fit easily the other end through your keyhole. It should be no problem. Okay, so now we're going to add our tinsel border. So you could change hook size at this point if you wanted to. I'm not going to. I'm going to continue to use my size 6. And you could also at this point pause here to weave in your ends. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to work them in as I go with the border, but you could, if you wanted to, take your darning needle and weave those ends in now. Okay, so take your tinsel and we'll just tie onto one of these corners. So insert your hook into the corner and just pull up a loop of the long end of your tinsel yarn. Oops, yes, there's my loop. And then chain 1. And just take a moment to tighten. Now you have the option here of also working in your tinsel tail, which is what I'm going to do. You can always weave these in at the end. It's entirely up to you. Now place a single crochet back in that corner. Okay, so you've chained 1, but then place a single crochet back in that corner, and then working a single crochet in each stitch. Oops, just be careful not to pull up your tail like I just did. And then single crochet with your tinsel yarn all the way along the border. Okay, let's just pull that out of there. So you just place 1 single crochet all the way along the border in each stitch, and then in each corner you'll place 2 single crochets. So that just gives you a turn, and then you'll work evenly spaced single crochets along here, 2 in the corner, and then you'll work back along your other edge, coming all the way back around, working in this tail as you go if you want to. So I'll meet you. I'm going to continue working all the way down. I'll meet you just at this point here. So keep going, pause here. I'm just going to meet you here to show you how to turn these corners and do this shorter edge. But otherwise, keep on going all the way around and I'll catch you soon. Okay, so I'm just at my corner here. And just another reminder to place 2 single crochets in each corner, and it'll just help you turn that corner more easily. And then along these short edges, because you're not working into each stitch, you'll just place single crochets evenly spaced along that edge. So just what you can do is you can just check how even. So here each of my stitches are approximately, let's say about 8 millimeters I would say. And so I'm just placing them about the same distance apart along those edges. And then I'm back at my corner. So let's add 2 single crochets there. And then working, this is my chain edge. So I'm going to work 1 single crochet in that second loop of the chain that I didn't work in at the beginning, and And I'll keep working all the way along until I get to this corner, and then I'm going to work in this tail end here just enough to secure it, and then I'll meet you back at this corner here. Okay, so I'm back at where I started. So I'm just placing my last single crochet in that last corner. So if you remember at the beginning we placed one single crochet in there, we just want to go back and place a second in there as well, so it's the same as each corner. Now I'm just going to cut off my tail end that I've worked in there. You may want to weave them, or actually you would have weaved them in already, but I was just working mine in, so I'll cut that off there, and then yarn over, pull through, and leave enough to weave in this end of the tinsel yarn, snipping off the excess. So then I'm going to take my darning needle, and I've got a large-eyed darning needle. It's relatively blunt, I don't need a super sharp one on this one. So thread your darning needle, and then we're going to weave in this tinsel end. So just find an area where you can weave it in. It's probably a good idea to continue in the same direction and then just work it along the edge there. It's very forgiving. You won't really see this edge as it comes, this tail as it comes along the edge. This tinsel sort of blends into itself really easily. Now you could go back and forward if you want to. I'm just going to leave it like that. Feel like that's secure enough for this project, and then I'll snip off that tail end, and there's my party scarf all finished. So as you can see, it's a super quick, super simple project, and so that's my one with the shorter overhang, and this is my one with the longer overhang, so it's approximately double. This is around 5 centimeter overhang, this one here that I've done today, and this one was a 9 centimeter overhang, so it's close to double. So you can work this up any way you want. You can have these longer overhangs or shorter, and yeah, it looks pretty partyish to me. So hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Of course, as always, I would love to see photos of your cat wearing his or her party scarf. So please send those along either via email to catventurous.community@gmail.com, or you can tag us on social media. We're on Instagram and Facebook at catventurous.crochet, and you can also tag Melba at AdventurePussMelba. So we'd love to see those. You can also find us on lots of other social media, so check out the description box below of where you can find us, and hope to catch you soon. Thanks very much, and Happy New Year. How you doing, Melba? Hi everyone, Charlotte here. Welcome to this video tutorial for Hi everyone, Happy New Year. Welcome to this video tutorial for Melba's party scarf, which you can see her wearing here. You look grumpy. Oh Melba, you're cute. You're cute. Sleepy and cute. Mwah. Thank you, baby.